Well, hello everyone. Hope you're having a good day. When I went to schedule this earlier, I went to see if certain other Catholic commentators were planning on going live today. They had nothing on their channel, so I decided to go for it, and that's since changed. That's okay. I have, it's not really a caffeine headache that I have. I think today what I have is a fatigue headache. Yeah. And it's a little late in the day for me to have coffee, but, and I couldn't have it this morning anyway, even if I wanted it, but tomorrow I probably can. Papia says 2 cups of coffee with 4 ounces of heavy organic cream for each cup. Make a satisfying keto breakfast. Just don't use a cheap non-organic heavy cream. They use vegetable oil derivatives as emulsifiers. Yeah, when it comes to heavy whipping cream for my coffee, I tend to try to get a better brand at least than just, great value or whatever. So, it's a not terribly quiet Thursday. I don't know if you can hear the lawnmower in the background. This is one of the reasons why I don't typically go and do this during the afternoon. But a lot of y'all don't get an opportunity to chat with me when I do these live streams, so I figured I would and try to do one at a different time of day. I'm going to go take a look at the headlines. I keep expecting Vigano to drop us a new letter, but that hasn't happened, and that's weird. It's been an awfully long time since he has. And I say that, and I'll wake up in the morning, and he'll have one out, which will have a fun effect, probably. Let's see. I saw that question in the chat about patriotism and the like. The answer about jingoism is correct. And generally speaking, if it leads to hate, you go back and read your Old Testament, see how everything seems to be framed in the nations and that kind of language, and you'll see. Well, happy you like when I do these live. I don't know how long I'm going to do it for today, because it's just the way I'm feeling, but happy you like it, Blue. Hello to Hewling. I need a good shot of whiskey. Well, the problem is I'm on a keto diet, and alcohol can really mess with that. Apparently whiskey is okay, like 1 drink of whiskey, but I'm skeptical. 21:46 p.m. in Ireland. Greetings. Well, a little late in the evening for you, McNeenan, but glad you could join us. Comstock. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. We Were Warned from Chesterton. If you haven't checked, if anybody hasn't checked it out, you should, because Chesterton pretty much nailed what our world was going to be like today. It's the most recent We Were Warned. Peter Jerusalem is asking for prayers for Lebanon. Yes, definitely. That's and that is a complicated situation, and I'm not going to comment further on it simply because our lovely hosts tend to crack down. Tension headache? I didn't sleep much last night, and then I had errands to do this morning. When I got back, I got a nap in, but it wasn't enough. And then when I got up, I did more revisions. I'm pretty much having to redo my references again for my dissertation. So it'll be done hopefully tomorrow or Saturday. Saturday might be tricky because family returns from visiting family this weekend, and that's the day I go pick them up from the airport, so who knows, but... Dean gave up drinking. Yeah, no, that's good. If you needed to do it, that's good. I didn't give up drinking myself. It's just that I don't keep it in the house typically, and my wife doesn't really drive, so it's pretty rare that I have one. I had one a few months ago, but Any thoughts of We Were Warned of Lewis's Abolition of Man? Comstock, if I did C.S. Lewis on this channel, I would get roasted in the comments because he was not a Catholic and he didn't come home. So I would get utterly roasted. So no, I'm not going to do C.S. Lewis. Is it hard to be a bishop? I don't know, Blue. You'd have to ask a bishop. I'd assume so. Yes, Healing, I saw what happened to over on Rights and Duties. I actually caught the original video this morning and then was surprised to see a new one with a snarky title. And boy, you could tell he was mad. Yeah, you can't go against the official narrative of the Planetary Wellness Group. We'll say. He got hammered for it. Papias whiskey will pause ketosis until your liver is done processing it, but not as bad as carbs. Yeah, where does whiskey rank compared to sugar alcohols? Where if you have more than 3 or 4 grams of sugar alcohol, it'll knock you right out of ketosis. Well, thank you for joining the channel, Michelle. Glad to have you here. But yeah, I don't know how whiskey compares to sugar alcohols or if it's the same kind of thing. So I've been Yes, Tom, we are live. I've been indulging in a little keto ice cream this week to deal with the end of my dissertation, or maybe to celebrate it. I don't know. Found a good brand that has no added sugar. It's just keto friendly, but it's still loaded with fat and calories, but that's okay. I haven't fallen off the horse, just except for in terms of calories a few times, which is way better than falling off the horse with carbs, because when you do that, it's pretty bad. Go Blue. You want to try to become a bishop? Well, you got to become a priest first, and then you get selected to be a bishop. Mr. Joy, I tend to agree. I do like rights and duties quite a lot. Am I still doing okay on keto? Yeah, I've lost like almost 30 pounds since January 4th. It's slow, but I love keto. It's just, it can be difficult to stay on. So it's a slow news day, in fact, it's a slow news week, which is why I've got the kind of videos that I've been doing this week. I've got one video already planned for next week, probably, that it could be a We Were Warned, but it's not a We Were Warned because it doesn't involve prophecy, but it involves some interesting little facts about Fatima that we've offered. Most people don't know about. Let's see. Cardinal Marx is coordinating a Vatican Council that has 6 lay women on the economy, appointed by Pope Francis. I'm sure that'll be awesome. Let's see. Oh yeah, Novena News is just all talking about the big anniversary that I probably can't name on the channel. So I'm just going to go away from them. Just go directly to LifeSite, see what's going on there. U.S. bishops spend $500,000 to help poor overcome the main subject of Laudato Si and put it in action. That's fantastic. I don't know how about you guys, but I feel totally at ease whenever the U.S. bishops and Laudato Si are ever in the same sentence. It's one of those things that yeah. The bishops of Kentucky defied the governor's suggestion that they suspend Sunday Mass for 2 weeks. That's good. That's definitely a step in the right direction. But so many of these headlines I can't even mention right now. It's so ridiculous. Welcome to the wonderful, wonderful state of our platform. Willis, you've been wondering, reading UN documents lately, how does one promoting those issues, giving that's a good question, Willis. I don't know how giving an international body unrelated power to power that is completely unrelated to the current problem, how that actually helps fight that problem. I don't know. Healing. I've never heard that keto was originally derived to help folks kick alcohol. It's just a strategy for people to lose weight that doesn't involve, especially it helps. It's a method for fighting the myths about fat being bad for you, and it's good for people with epilepsy and things, or so that I've read. I never used it for that because I don't have that issue, but I do a weightlifter's variation of it. Johan, I can't really get to a high elevation from where I live. I live at about 1,100 feet above sea level, and there isn't a real mountain range for a very long way from me. Even in Elliot, yeah, I was going to schedule this earlier today in terms of putting it up as an announcement, but I just got too busy doing other things. Tom K, the meatball was too spicy today. Apparently he was. Dean, keto does not equal no carbs. Keto equals there are in carb restriction, there's low carb diets and ketogenic diets, and then there's the carnivore diet. I do ketogenic, so I take in around 20 to 30 net carbs per day. That's subtracting fiber and sugar alcohols and things. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you aim for macros, and that's how you get to where you're going. So it's not a no carbs ever thing. I had avocado with my lunch. I will have some cauliflower with my dinner. Isn't the Fatima movie coming out soon? I heard that the Fatima movie was actually delayed 0 day. I've been looking for, like, where the Fatima special is, and I can't find it right now, but I'm hoping. Do I think we have till 2029, Aaron? It's a guess. I don't make hard predictions, but if that's the best timetable. And I think, and as the tip of the spear video that I've shared and rewatched myself recently said, that doesn't necessarily mean that's 0 hour. You know, that just means that things get bad. Go Blue, do I think the stonecutters infiltrated the church? Of course. Why am I posting 2 times? I'm not posting 2 times. For some reason they changed the interface of the live stream, Jerry, and I have no idea why. And so it's a glitch. They changed it completely, and it's annoying. Yeah, Iron Cross, I don't know why it's showing 2 live streams simultaneously. Again, they changed the interface, and there's nothing I can do about it. So if anybody's hearing this on the other stream, go to Weekday Stream for the People. That's where I'm actually at. I don't know what's going on the other ways. FM said they have their... Oh, yeah, Johan. Yeah, that's what I've heard, but the thing about it is that group also said they didn't actually want a pope who was a member of their organization, but one who thought like them. Maybe they got it. I don't know. Yeah, Tom K. That whole issue with Bishop Barron is just frightening. Jerry Pollock, I don't know where you're getting that it's a mistranslation from. I'm using stuff. I only read from the Latin Vulgate, and I take with extreme prejudice and suspicion any critical analysis of the Bible, because they usually try to make it not really work. Total War Legendary, thank you for the super chat. It is appreciated. Charlotte Pettit, did I see on LifeSite that the U.S. bishops banned? Yeah, I literally just mentioned that headline. I just can't. I don't know if I can even do a video on that. You know what I mean? I probably could if I talked about it properly. I don't even know what they mean by that. Maybe I should just make that my Monday video. I don't know. Condi is correct. Keto reduces insulin resistance. It's like the perfect diet if you're diabetic. Did anyone ever tell you that your speaking voice matches the face with the sunglasses? I've never heard what Hilaire Belloc's voice sounds like, so I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't really strike me as the type who would actually have worn sunglasses. He'd probably be a little weirded out by this picture, but... Healing, what I don't understand is if Vatican II is supposed to be inconsistent with tradition, why would ignoring it be a problem? I don't know. Mr. Joy, the tip of the spear video blew your mind. Did you see the follow-up he did? That was the last video he did 3 years ago or something, and it's 30 minutes long. It's worth watching. So allegiance to the Bureau of Land Management, the Mark of the Beast? No, it's not. Healing for the super chat, thank you. Thanks for the Vigo no coverage. I've got one more. I've got a follow-up to yesterday's letter for you tomorrow. It's a little denser, but it's the same author. I'm expecting Vigano to drop a letter just because he's gone quiet, which is weird. What are my thoughts on Dr. Marshall being tweeted by the president? I'm happy for Dr. Marshall, I guess. We'll see what happens with it. Teresa Baker, you are in the right place right now. I don't know why there's 2 streams. Let me see if I can figure out how to, go into... Weird. There's 32 watching on the other one. Let's go into YouTube Studio and see if I can shut it down. There, I made that one private. You should be in the right place now, Teresa. So yes, again, if you're hearing this on the Return to Tradition stream, they changed the interface for live streaming again, and for some reason it turned it into 2 streams. I don't know why that happened. I thought I turned it off, and I have to learn it, learn the changes they did. Excuse me. That lingering cough from that head cold I had a week ago that's been gone other than this cough. If an adult won't get baptized in the Catholic Church, so all Christian churches get proper baptisms, as long as they follow the church recognizes other baptisms as long as they're done correctly. And the Vatican has a story about that today. They basically banned community baptism. So, Teresa Baker Carl, you said keto is good for epilepsy. I think that's what I've read. I would go double check that. It's something like that. Yeah. Is coffee a bad thing? No, coffee's a great thing as long as it's good coffee. It's one of the hardest things about moving here from Portland was like people thought Folgers was good. People thought Starbucks was good coffee. No, it's not good coffee. That's when it wasn't long after that. Like I did when I first moved here, I bought coffee from like places in Portland through the internet like a couple of times, but then I started buying coffee from monasteries instead. So that reminds me I do need to buy more coffee online. Peter Jerusalem, what is the tip of the spear video? Let me find it for you. I'll put it in the chat. I may do my own sort of take on the tip of the spear, but it wouldn't be 2 hours long like this one is.
So I've got it.
Probably got picked up in the chat a little bit, or that probably got picked up by my mic. But there's the tip of the spear video. Peter, go open that later. Don't think I can even answer that one, Pioneer, about the Christians in the military. We're not on a platform that lets us talk about things that we want to talk about, especially in the terms that you're talking about them in. Jose Marte, you got booted from the 32 people stream at work. Good, because again, for those of you who might be joining us a little late, YouTube changed the interface of the live stream. I don't know why they did that or what, but they did, and now it created two streams at the same time, so it's weird. Any further word on Pope Benedict's health? No, nothing new. People are just trying to say that there's nothing to worry about there, but I'm of the mind that if at 93 years old, anything like that is something to be concerned about. Let's see. Okay, Bishop Barron has a chiropractor and a bunch of weird priests running his operation. Yeah, I mean, he's not... I haven't liked him in a long time. I just try not to think about him too much. Where's the piano bar? Have I heard more about Pope Benedict? No. Three Seater says, had an Android update for YouTube. Oh, that's great. Thanks for the super chat, Liam. Appreciate it. That's Canadian 549. Well, greetings to you. I believe that's Canadian. Greetings to you, Liam, in Canada. Get an espresso machine. Very quick 2 shots in the morning. Problem is, if I spent the kind of money on that, my wife might get a little annoyed because she gets, I'm literally the only person in the house who drinks coffee. My wife doesn't. You dare me to use the term crunchy instead of cool from now on. I'll pass. I'll pass on that one. Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's go to America Magazine because why not? Oh, more headlines I can't mention. Who goes first now? The bishops are trying to remind the members of Congress not to forget Catholic schools in their newest aid relief program. So here's some bad advice. The America Magazine has a story here, and I'm going to tell you that this is terrible advice. And I'm going to put a link to this so you can take a look at the picture of the writer so you can see why you should not listen to the person. But the headline is, "Want a good job? Major in philosophy." I'm going to tell you right now that if you want a good job, don't major in philosophy. I have a few political science degrees. I'm going to also tell you not to do that either. Don't. It's the kind of thing that Good Will Hunting described as being able to get the same education with late fees from your library. How's the knee? Mostly better. I was able to go to the gym so far 3 times this week, and I will tell you that I'm extremely sore, and I'm supposed to go to the gym 12 hours from now, and my back is sore enough from my back workout yesterday that if it's like this tomorrow morning, I don't know how I'm going to work my shoulders. I'm not going to try to do like the overhead barbell military press, one of my favorite shoulder exercises, because I'm not sure how my knee is going to respond to, over 100-something pounds over my head, standing straight up. But My back workout was not great anyway because half the things that I normally do I wasn't going to try with my knee. Maybe next week. Who knows? Well, it's the traditional Anglicans who want to go Catholic want an Anglican rite, not just an ordinary. I think there's problems in the laws of the church that say you can't just start a new rite. But I don't know. It's above my pay grade. Captain Birdseye, I believe the term is Easter worshippers. Why did the Vatican come down on the wee baptism thing? Probably because Joe. Probably because there was that baptism was being done incorrectly in some parishes, or it was because they had a lot of questions about that. You've been listening to Malachi Martin, Bernard Jansen interviews. Very interesting. Yes, they are. The Father Luke channel, LUC, fr.luc. He has I think almost all of Malachi Martin's interviews with various people. And the Bernard Jansen ones are much better, I think, than the Art Bell ones. Mountain Lover, I had to approve your comment, but is it true? Yes. I hit the gym at 4 a.m. Yes, I do. I like it. I like going to the gym when there aren't a lot of people there. Minimal socializing. It's great. Don't have to worry about getting onto machines. It's pretty good. No pain, no gain isn't necessarily true, you know. Well, if I get up tomorrow and my back hurts like this, Teresa, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'll just, work on my dissertation all morning. You smaller weights, more reps, it works for you. Miracle Man, I do that with arm day. A year ago, I had a minor wrist injury, and I couldn't do arms at all for a month and a half. And when I finally was able to do it again, I decided to just, instead of doing heavy arms, I was at one point of curling 45-pound dumbbells, and okay, I mean, it's great, but what's the point? So I started doing lower weights and more interesting arm workouts with lots of volume. It was great. I actually my favorite arm workout is probably what's called a spider curl, where I'll take 25 or 30-pound dumbbells and do sets of 20 reps. That's something I really enjoy. Iron Cross, yeah, it's not just the problem glasses. Sorry for any slurring you're hearing. I've got a cough drop, so I don't cough more. Did I hear that? Yes, go Blue. Father Ripperger and I think Gabriel Amorth have spoken at length about yoga. Use dumbbells, drop to the side if you feel anything about to give way. Yeah, I don't have any, but the biggest problem I had working arms the other day was a couple of exercises. It was at the end of the exercises where I basically trying to put the dumbbells down where I couldn't normally put them down the way I would, and I had to think about it. What are my thoughts on the thing that I can't mention Google account? The live chat, the chat's live today. What are my thoughts about that thing that I tweeted about? Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they called it a religious sacrament for themselves. That's what they've done. AMDG, take some, never heard of Wobenzyme, but take some of that for sore muscles on an empty stomach. I have some ZMA that I'm going to take tonight. It'll help me get some sleep, and it will, magnesium and potassium are good for muscle recovery. Yeah, Teresa, I'm very, when it comes to form in the gym, I'm very, 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 very cautious about it. I'll go watch videos before I try something new. Go watch a professional bodybuilder demonstrate how to properly do a lift before I'll try something new. What do I think of Act 17 apologetics? I'm not familiar with them, Toompi. Any advice on avoiding anger, frustration, or the Cassandra complex in debating with non-trad Catholics and relatives on important topics? Spend more time in adoration if you can. And if not in adoration, at least in front of the sacrament, the Blessed Sacrament in some way. That's one way to deal with it. You watched the Father Luke videos when you were trying to figure out what happened to the church in the summer 2018. After about 6 months, you finally... Pop, yes, yeah, that's an underutilized channel. He's done put a lot of good material on there. Google account. You can't make a video on YouTube about the thing you cannot discuss. They have a YouTube video discussing it. Oh, of course they do, but I'll bet you it's from a different... I bet you it's from a pro side of it. Toopy. If you want to email me a link, go for it. Send it to an email, though. I've got like 180 emails in my inbox right now. That's why I'm not responding to anything. It's almost to the point where I have to shut my email down. That's how bad it is now. But send me an email. I'll take a look at it later. What is going on here? Yeah, American Magazine. Yeah. I should almost do a video on that. A bishop in Minnesota has retired early due to his health. But yeah, the Vatican has said baptisms administered in the name of the community are invalid, meaning we baptize you. That's not good because, and I think at least part of it has to do with the trying to bring the community up to the level of the priest, which is an error. Diocese of Providence has a decades-high number of new seminarians, so that's great news. Let's see. Yeah, the news is just slow today. That's really shouldn't be surprising to anybody, though, right? I mean, August is always slow time. Acts 47, apologetics is mainly just okay. Then goes too far with it, doesn't produce much else. Okay. Good to know, Willis. Go Blue. In a pre-Catholic life, I did yoga. Took yoga as a PE class. They even had what they called what did they call it? Meditation yoga. And I sat there in that class feeling like it was the stupidest thing I'd ever done. Like the teacher would have us put a finger on one of our nostrils to plug it from the outside and then sit there and do these alternate nostril breathing exercises and all this other stuff. And I sat there going, this is the goofiest stuff I've ever heard. Like, what are we doing? It was the easiest. I mean, they talk about, PE being an easy A. Well, of the PE easy A classes, this was the easy A. It was ridiculous. The only thing I couldn't do was some weird, lean against the wall handstand thing because, I got a fat guy to do that without breaking himself. Thoughts on non-theistic Satanism? I mean, I've read enough of their philosophy to say I can't tell the difference between that and libertarians. They're like edgy libertarians. Well, it's just disguised. It says it's just disguised real Satanism. That's probably true. If you want to be brutally honest about it, it's probably true. I mean, all it is. Remember, the devil doesn't care if you worship him. Although I'm sure he'd find it amusing if you did. As long as you're not worshiping, the one Lord, then yes, he does. Let's see. Used to run a major New Age center in Scotland before he and his wife came to the church. Huh. Yes, Teresa, I noticed here in Oklahoma, it's the weather went cool too, cool and rainy, which is good in one way. It means I'm probably not going to have to mow my lawn this weekend, which is fantastic. Trying to kill the crabgrass in my yard, and it's nothing that I buy that says will kill crabgrass is doing the job. It's the strangest, weirdest thing. But the weather has turned nice and mild here, and I'm totally fine with that. Is blue skies Pilates okay? I've never done Pilates, and I don't know anything about it. Unless you mean plates, as you spelled it. But if you mean Pilates, I don't know. August is great, especially the 15th. I don't know what the significance of... Well, no, that's a major feast day, of course. Yeah, well, any major feast day is great. You just got... Google account. You got me retweeted by Dr. Marshall. Oh, that's cool. I should go check my Twitter account now. It's happened. He's done that before. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see it, but that's okay. No, not top concern right now. Just watch your knee with rain. Yeah, no kidding, Teresa. I'm being careful with that knee. I'm not venturing outside much right now anyway, except to go run errands. But I was careful going into my carport where I hurt my knee the other day. Even though it wasn't even that wet. I'm paranoid. I'm gonna actually probably go to Atwood's. I don't know. Do you guys have Atwood's outside of Oklahoma? I had never seen one on the West Coast, but it's like a farm and ranch supply store. Has some of the coolest gardening equipment you'll ever see, and barbecue equipment, and Like, if you need pet food, like dog and cat food, go there. They have the biggest selection I've ever seen. But apparently they have, like, barn mats, and I'm going to get one for my carport. That way I don't have to worry about it anymore, because it's heavy duty enough that you could drive a tractor over it, meaning my Jeep will be fine. And if it's wet, I can just walk on that, and it's textured, and so I won't slip. Johan, yeah, from what I'm seeing in the chat, a lot of Catholic high schools here taught yoga. But then again, the state of Catholic high schools isn't very good either. Some of them are good. Some of them are really good, but not all of them. Does being a dad immediately make you good at dad jokes? Mountain Lover, I don't know, because my kid is too young for me to tell him dad jokes. He's almost 2, Am I going to physiotherapy for my knee? No, it doesn't need it, because my knee wasn't that bad. It was strained, and I still have a limp. But what I need to do is train myself to walk properly. The problem I have now is when I try to genuflect or kneel at all, I have stiffness on the outside. And so I need to work that out. Like, what I probably should try to do is try to genuflect at least once every other day. Which, imagine going to Mass and not being able to kneel. It's terrible. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But it's the state of life right now. I don't know. Let's go see what's trending on Twitter. They're really trying to sell you a Star Trek cartoon that was modeled after, like, Rick and Morty, which that's just a terrible idea. Trending in my state, people are talking about the governor, and it's Twitter, so it's probably anti-stuff. Yep. He said that America doesn't need another stimulus, so. Oh, the words against God are trending. Well, let's take a look. Oh, yeah. The president said some things about people being against God, and it's got people just melting down. Twitter is truly a cancerous website. Your Catholic college had a yoga classes, Catholic name only. For some reason you didn't go. Yeah. It's the same thinking. I really need to do my video on how Catholic schools got to the condition they're in. Because a lot of people don't know about the Land O'Lakes statement and how all that came to be and what it did and everything else. And how the Vatican in the 80s tried to fix it, and most of the Catholic universities just don't care. Oh, thank you, Roseanne. I appreciate the comment. Stretching every day is important, especially after a workout. Mr. Miracle Man, that's the one thing I don't have much habit of doing is stretching, because like my weightlifting, I don't know how. What I like to do instead is like bench press the light, like for me a light amount of weight before I do the real weight, or curling, just rapidly curling like 5-pound dumbbells, that kind of thing for waking up those muscle groups. Hello to you, Brian. Glad you're here. When I go to the gym, try lifting weights with your legs. It works out the kinks quite well, and it will change your pant size. Well, when I get back to doing, like, putting pressure on the knee, I will. Maybe next, like, give you an idea. On my back days, I typically deadlift, and I couldn't this week, and it made me sad. The deadlift is not an exercise I like when I'm doing it, but at the same time, I love it. I don't know why. The insurance, you should really do their exercises for stretching and strengthening. I do have insurance, yeah. Birmingham oratory priests have been clamped down on providing communion properly. Right, and you're seeing that all over the world, Captain Birdseye, and what you're seeing is an absolute violation of canon law, and no one seems to care. Did I see that the Cardinal Supich blessed the dragon in the high school gym prior to Mass in the gym? I didn't see that, but it doesn't surprise me. Cardinal Supich, friend of this channel, is notoriously open-minded about everything but, the faith. Land O'Lakes designed by... You're not far off there, Miracle Man. The James Martin Brigade is strong. Do I ever do any reading on the... the Miracle of the First... I don't think I can touch that topic on this platform, Toompi. So no, I haven't done any of... for the channel, I haven't done anything. Three-seater says you've only encountered Atwoods and Orchlands here in Oklahoma. Tractor Supply Company was also on the East Coast. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I like Atwoods. I really do. When I finally went in there, I was like, "Wow, man." I got friends trying to get me to move to another state, and I'm like, I don't know. You don't go to a Catholic school, but lots of people at your public school say they're Catholic but don't really know anything about Catholicism, but they know a lot about... Yeah, see, the problem here is that you have Go Blue is that parents have failed to do their job. The primary job of a Catholic parent is to raise their child in the faith, to be good, virtuous people. That's like their primary job. And a lot of Catholic parents have failed. They expect their parishes to do it or whatever, or they just think it's not that big of a deal. What do I think about laymen discussing and teaching hard theology publicly? Personally, I think it's a bad idea. It creates armchair theologians, and I tend to agree, Mountain Lover. I think that that it should be done with extreme caution. So, like at the Catholic university that I briefly worked at before they went out of business, the Catholic theologians there, they were laymen, but they had mandatums from the bishop. They had permission, and it gets. I don't want to use the term parallel magisterium, but you can run into that risk of people like thinking that they have the authority to teach things beyond their scope. That's why I don't touch theology. Tom K says, good old Cardinal Cupcake. Yep. Miracle Man, you used Candle on 915 to be able to get the chalice. Huh. I'm surprised they even had one available for you. I figured I would figure that in the current climate they would just do the Eucharist with the physical, like the bread, and there would only be enough wine for the priest, and he would empty the chalice, and then that'd be it. Teresa, he says she had a very serious knee injury which bled inward instead of outside. That's one thing they checked for. Didn't have anything like that. They had you lift with your ankles. It took 9 months, but it worked well. Lift with your ankles. Do you mean like standing on your tiptoes, basically, and using your ankle as a hinge for that, or what were they doing? I don't know what you mean by lifting with your ankles. You meant physical therapy insurance? No, I don't have. I mean, I haven't done any physical therapy for what I've got. Well, it wasn't that bad. It's just I have to remember to walk properly. That's my big thing. Let's see. Speaking of nickname Cardinals Bishops, did Cardinal Donut really call Bishop Barron our era's Fulton Sheen? Yes, he did. He has introduced him publicly as that kind of a figure, if you can believe it. Jose Marti, I tend to agree on that. It's one of the reasons why I don't watch them anymore. Miracle Man, only after Mass because you have a wheat allergy. Okay. Does your parish not have like those like low gluten? Now, is it allergic to wheat, or are you have a gluten issue? It's like my parish is a traditional parish, and they even have the low gluten options that you can get at the end. You heard the sewers were complaining about the smell of Twitter. Willis, a few days ago, you saw a story but can't find it. A priest or a bishop wanted to end the use of clericals. If you can find that, send that to me. I would make a video about that. Don't trust Catholic priests who dress in street clothes. I'll give the exception to the sort of the weird hermit priests you have these days who just live by themselves and they go out in public in their street clothes, even though that's still a little weird to me. But AMD says, like Sheen said, if you want your kids' faith challenged, send them to public schools. If you want your child to lose their faith, send them to a Catholic school. He said this in the 50s. Yeah. Remember, Vatican II wasn't just an out of the blue, oh man, we're all in crisis thing. No, it was a build up, and it was the sort of coming out party. An 18-month-old girl fell into water, was critical in her mom's faith in God. Very good, Patch. Low gluten still has too much wheat. Oh, okay. Does anyone know why Jackie? I try not to talk, Jackie, too much about other Catholic outlets. It's one of the things I try not to do. I know people you could ask that question to, and they would give you their unfiltered response. But yeah. Teresa Baker. I'd have to go look up how to do that lifting weights with the ankles thing, because I'm the mechanics of it. I'm not sure how I would do it. Barron is more like the Bieber of the church. I don't think that's fair to him. Like I said in my video today, he's far from being the worst of these figures. Far from it. He's, I'm no fan, but he's far from it. Lion's Den says, your daughter went to a Jesuit university and she lost the faith. You should pray for her to return to the church. If my brain is not working today, that's what happens when I'm sleep deprived. If St. Augustine's mother, who's St. Monica, if St. Monica could pull that off, you can pull that off with prayer and offering of suffering. So it can be done. It can be done. Let's go to the Vatican News website, see what's going on over there. Basically what the CDF says is baptisms conferred with arbitrarily modified formulas are not valid. And that's at the core of that baptism question. You got to do it according to what the church has said you have to do, how you have to do it. The Pope has extended Eastern Catholic Patriarch's jurisdiction over the Arabian Peninsula. Francis has gone to St. Mary Major on the feast of the Basilica's dedication. Yeah, it's definitely a slow news day. It's why I've got the kind of video I have coming tomorrow. Go Blue, God has been evicted from the schools. That's why people don't talk about him there. Unless, of course, it's your teacher preaching atheism from up front in the classroom, because they do that, especially in the universities. Prayers for all, says Julius. St. Monica prayed many, many years for her son and her husband both. Teresa Baker, I actually disagree fundamentally with your take on Church Militants reporting on the SSPX. Fundamentally disagree with it. Church Militant doesn't actually have the authority they're claiming. And I've caught them playing fast and loose with the truth so many times that I no longer use them as a source. Sorry if that offends anybody. I think there's an agenda there. That's all I'm going to say on it. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, Catholic Family News. Let's see if they've got something for us today. Oh, that they don't update every day. Huh. Yeah, it's so weird being this tired at 4 in the afternoon, but you know how it goes. Yes, Go Blue, he did say something like that. I don't know what the context was. I can't imagine people being like rushing out to go put that man in charge of things. But you know how it goes. Blue Skies, when you were at a secondary school, nuns still wore their habits. This changed in the 90s. It started changing beforehand, but maybe it happened later in Ireland. But I mean, you started seeing some of that stuff, in the 70s, I think. Right after the council. I mean, that's why it was noteworthy when Mother Angelica went back to her traditional habit in the 90s. No problem, AMD. I do enjoy answering the questions. I'm not going to do this for very long. I'm tired and I'm not at my best right now. Please don't talk about let's not bring up other people, other Catholic content creators in there. It actually caused me some trouble recently. People were doing that, so please just don't do it. I will mute people. Yeah, Matt Gaspers talks about it. That's he's more free to do it. Healing. So anybody wants to know why I try to avoid doing it is when my channel started being successful, I made a promise to God that I would avoid inter-trad fighting. I wouldn't be fighting, that I would not fight with or smear people on our own side of things as much as possible. That's why I only try to say nice things about people, or I just say I don't have an opinion. Do I pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet? No, I don't. And it's not a dislike of the thing. I mean, I have, and I probably will again in the future. It's just not a thing I do. It's not part of my prayer routine. Which, speaking of prayer routine, everybody should be in the habit of shaking the prayer routine up a little bit. If you have like pre-written prayers that you say to the point where you can do them by memory, maybe switch it up, change them out for other ones that functionally mean the same thing, like your morning offering or whatever. Just so you're not doing it, you're just rattling off prayers while going over your shopping list in your brain or whatever. Peter Jerusalem messages deleted all over. Yeah, I've seen a couple people retracting things, but I haven't seen anybody, like, deleting things, so. Have some people having your messages deleted? Tom, metal was not my religion. It never was. It's just a music that I find enjoyable, but I don't spend any time on it. I find people who obsess about it, like, either pro or anti, weird. It's just music made by complicated people, many of whom need therapy, which I think describes all secular music. But, yeah. Do I pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet? No, I'm thinking I might do, since, it's August, and which means I need to start thinking about my annual sort of reconsecration to Our Lady of Sorrows coming up in September. I think maybe I should start it with a novena, an actual traditional novena to Our Lady of Sorrows that will end on the day of that consecration. Maybe find a way to drive all the way to a daily mass at my parish. Johann suggests the Litany of the Holy Name of Jesus and of the Blessed Virgin Mary. I do have a devotions video coming out this weekend, so members of the channel or patrons or whatever, they have access to it already. It's a one I hadn't heard of until somebody emailed me about it, so those are some of the easiest videos to do, but this one was longer than most of those are because I went through the whole history of it and then gave you a little bit about it, and I need to remember Saturday when I make that video public to actually do an update on the sources blog to put the information there. Hewling says he was a kid in the 70s and 80s, went to Catholic schools all but 3 years, stopped seeing nuns and habits in the late 70s. Yeah, that's why I always am very pleased when I see that. I'm pleased to see that the habit is making a comeback, much to the chagrin of the Vatican. Blue Skies, you started recently praying a novena to the Holy Souls. You should remember them. Yes, and like I said in my Gregorian Masses video that very few people watched, you do a great work of mercy if you have Masses said for somebody like in the public eye who passed away and who is said to have been Catholic and had a priest at their bedside. If you have no reason to doubt that they died in the good graces of the church, then yes. You should, have a mass said for them. Is it odd that you always loved composition music? We call it classical now, but Baroque, classical, romantic? No. I don't think anybody's taste in music is truly odd unless you're sitting there listening to, like, 8-bit video game music or that kind of thing. That's odd. But if you like classical music, then that's a beautiful thing. You should be happy. When will Supich work on the canonization of the guy who at the center of everything? Well, the guy, he's not Catholic, so what's a good book to do consecration through Mother Mary? I would stick with St. Louis de Montfort's formula, but his method, or if you can find, there's St. Maximilian Kolbe had one too. Those are the ones I would use. I have 33 Days to Morning Glory, and what struck me about it was the complete lack of prayers in it. I was like, really? Like, day one, all this stuff, but, lack of specific prayers. So I was a little weirded out by this, mostly reflections. Xenia says she read a great article about Benedict XVI's reflections about Vatican II documents, Benedict XVI and the End of the Virtual Council by Tracy Rowland. Huh. Michael Met is having a global reset. Yeah, I have to be careful. So I'll probably watch it when it goes live, assuming it doesn't get shut down like happened to my friend's video today. Hewling Junior High was a pantsuit nuns high school. There was straight up regular clothes nuns. No way to know unless you were in their class. Right, and it's very irritating. That's why I had a chuckle when Vigano responded to the nun who tried to call him out, and he called her out for not wearing a habit. For those who are wanting to know, Lion's Den says that LifeSite News Channel has a wonderful daily Our Lady of Fatima Rosary, which is good. Teresa Baker, yeah, I've heard of the True Religion clothing brand. Their true religion is materialism. And what is materialism? Old right holy water for people on their deathbeds. Demons around to fight for their souls. Yeah, if you can get it. It's one of the reasons why I suggest the traditional Latin Mass, because and not from like a diocesan one really, but from one of the fraternities because you will, or from a religious community, because you can get the other sacraments done in the pre-1969, 1970 rite too. Mr. Joy, you are correct. 8-bit music is better than Norwegian black metal. I will concede that. I had watched a documentary on metal once, and the anthropologist making it was visibly disturbed by the Norwegians he was interviewing. And for good reason. Those guys need therapy in a very serious way. They probably need an exorcism, honestly. Mountain Lover, I'm not going to say what you said, but that's funny. Yeah, Grand Jeepster, you were raised Catholic, left the church about 15 years, but now you're back with a strong urge to learn. The more you learn about the faith, the more you realize you don't know. Welcome to the club. You can spend your whole life learning about the faith and be a lot you don't learn. So what I recommend doing is focus on 2-3 areas that you want to learn everything about, or as much as you can, and focus on that stuff, and then don't worry about the rest. I don't really do apologetics. I don't target Protestants or atheists with what I do to try to get them to convert. There are people better equipped for that. So, heard talks about to what degree God hears prayers, that if you live repeating the same sin of own will and asking God for forgiveness every time your prayers are not heard. You're explaining it badly. I've heard that, Stephen, but I would be careful even repeating that, because I don't think that's actually true. And 2, you can cause despair in people by spreading that. There are people who are seriously stuck in habitual sins who want out desperately. And yeah, you can cause despair. You can cause people to just stay in their sins longer, which puts their soul at risk. So I'd be careful even repeating that. I deal with the same issue when I hear that, because somebody once told me when I was coming into the church all those years ago that when you're in a state of mortal sin, God doesn't hear your prayers. And I know that's not true, but it still just nukes my prayer life. How old do you need to be a priest? I think they won't let you into seminary. Well, I think they won't let you be ordained until you're 27 or 28. Lady Fatima Rosary is unfortunate. Let's see. You had to go to Walmart today. Is that the only place for them? No, there are true religion stores in malls. You clearly don't spend much time in shopping malls. You're not missing anything. Food court, access to kettle corn. I mean, that's really the only thing that any normal person would want out of a shopping mall. The rest is just ugh. Birmingham Oratory was banned from communion on the tongue this week. That's what I've heard. That's unfortunate. Mr. Miracle endorses the Dewey Rams. I read that one and the Knox Bible. Those are my 2 go-to translations. Xenia says the Marians of the Immaculate Conception have a live rosary every day at 5 Eastern. I'm guessing that's going to be on their YouTube channel. So look up the Marians of the Immaculate Conception. And for those of you who don't know, Father Isaac Marie Relia launched his YouTube channel about a month ago. And you can easily watch it. You can easily find it. So let me see if I can find you a video from him. And I can put that in the chat so that people who like him can find him again, because I frequently get questions from people going, hey, do you know what happened to him? And the one time I actually look up, just go to my homepage. Oh, there's one. Very good. His video on Our Lady of Good Success. Excuse me again. So I'll copying a link for that, and I'm going to drop that in the chat for you. People can catch up with him. Is Eric Gajewski Tricanite a good source? Is it true that he bought views and subs? I think he gets calumniated a lot, Jack. I don't have a problem with Eric. I show up on his channel, once a month or so. On his, he has me on. Excuse me again, but I may not be the best person to ask for that reason. But I'll tell you, I like him. I don't have a problem with him, and I think people, I don't know why people think he's buying views and subs when he has a paywall website. It would literally not help him to do that. The life site OLF Rosary is live at noon, or you can watch it on YouTube anytime after. What time zone, Jackie? So yes, there's the Father Isaac link. Go Blue wants to be a priest and work his way up. Don't be a priest, Blue, if you don't think that you could be completely happy being an anonymous priest at a country parish or at an urban parish, if you prefer. Not making your way up past, running a parish. If you don't think you would find a lot of joy hearing confessions and offering the holy sacrifice of the Mass every day for the rest of your life, then you're not called to the priesthood. Jose Marti, no problem. Somebody sent me that link to the audio and asked me to share it, and it sounded like a good deal to me, so I shared it. What is my opinion on the New American Bible produced by St. Jerome Press? The New American Bible is a terrible translation in general. I don't care what edition, who's publishing it. Go check out Ascent of Mount Carmel's series on how bad the New American Bible is. He thought he was going to do a 2 or 3 part video series, and he did like a 12 or 14 part video series because he kept finding things. Jackie, so it's noon Eastern. Okay, so that would be 9 a.m. Pacific for those of you for that life site OLF Rosary. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions or anything they want to talk about briefly? Because if not, I'm going to call it here. We've gone about an hour, and my headache isn't getting any better. And I know that my wife is going to call soon for our evening sort of chat. So if not, then thanks everyone for joining, and you all have a nice rest of your day, and I plan to stream Sunday at the usual time. So anyway, you have a nice